Today we're going to be looking at the story of how Ronaldinho went bankrupt. Now we all know Ronaldinho, right? Famous footballer. Apparently he went bankrupt. I didn't know about this. This is a video by Sunny V2, so expect to hear a lot of unnecessary insults because this guy does not hold back.
Countless legal problems, half a year in prison, and a bank account holding less than $7.
Half a year in prison? Clearly I've been living under a rock, but now taking this info in. How are you a famous footballer getting into prison? Like, it's not like you're broke or anything, right? Bingo. He went bankrupt. Oh my gosh. Not like that's the title of this fucking video.
Half a year in prison and a bank account holding less than $7.
Damn.
Sadly, Ronaldinho's
How the hell did this happen?
retirement has instead been a total train wreck. He was worth $90 million when he retired in 2015, although despite having a salary of nearly $300k per week, Ronaldinho showed through a Coca-Cola sponsorship he was absolutely atrocious at handling his money. Coke paid him $750k per year under one condition, that whilst in public he'd only drink their beverage. Well, just a couple of months after signing the deal...
What type of deal is that? Are you dead ass? Only drink Coca-Cola and... Bro, that's basically signing your life away to Coke. I get how he'd slip up from that.
Ronaldinho instead promoted Coke's biggest competitor.
Oh, okay.
The Coke...
He literally promoted Pepsi. No, this guy's... He's smart, dude. Why the hell did he do this? Seriously.
Cola ambassador shot himself in the foot when he rocked up to a press conference sipping on a can of Pepsi. As a result, Coke dropped him and stated the sponsorship had become embarrassing, assisted by Ronaldinho's poor performances on the pitch, as he'd become more interested in throwing wild parties. In one example, he was scheduled to play against Man United, but instead the night before, partied in a bar until 3 a.m. A Barcelona...
Bro, with a guy with as much talent as him, I thought he'd be training his ass off every day. He was throwing fucking Diddy parties. Okay, I'm so brain rotted. Throwing big ass parties 3 in the morning before a game. They're like, what the f is he running off coke? Is that why he was so good? Why he has so much energy?
A board member added, Ronaldinho plays bongos until 2 in the morning every night. Everyone knows we have a discipline problem. Ronaldinho's getting older, partying all the time.
Shit.
How do we stop it?
At least he was still getting paid though, until that brought us to here, which now he's bankrupt. It clearly was a discipline problem.
Stopping Ronaldinho's partying was basically impossible.
Damn, who's that? She bad. Was that Jennifer Lopez? Hold on, bro. What is this little Jamaican hat? Yo, that shit is tough, bro. See how Ronaldinho moving. Cuban link. Okay.
Even negotiated a nightclub clause into one of his contracts, allowing him to party at least 2 nights per week. Incredibly, he wound up breaking the contract, as 2 nights of partying simply wasn't enough, justifying his actions by stating, a football player has to have a normal life, as a person and as a sportsman. But
bro, more than 2 parties a week, that's not a normal life. What is this guy's idea of normal, man? And he chopped as hell too. How he getting butt? Maybe he's just there to have a good time. But by the looks of it in those photos, these photos right here, he looked grown as hell. Like he looked like he already have a wife and kids at the club with other girls like this.
Normal life, as a person and as a sportsman. But according to his teammate Jerome Leroy, this lifestyle was seriously hurting his skills. Ronaldinho didn't train any day of the week and would just turn up on a Friday for the game on Saturday. I think he was trying to follow in the steps of Romario, who would also go out every night, but he didn't have the same success. Without a consistent training regimen, Ronaldinho began to experience constant injuries. Beginning in March 2008, he was off the field for 1 full year, missing 30 different games.
Yo, how fucking old is this guy? This is pretty much when I was born. God damn. So he's been like this ever since back then. Not a big surprise that he went bankrupt, is it?
From 4 different injuries. In the meantime, Ronaldinho started gaining weight, for which he was clowned on by them.
What the f? What is he wearing, big dog? Yeah, and he's getting fat as shit too.
Yeah. One article wrote, over the past year, Ronaldinho hasn't looked like the player who led Barcelona to 2 straight league titles. Another article mentioned the former best player in the universe has already become an increasingly distant memory.
That's insane, Glaze. Best player in the universe is crazy. If Zidane was around back then, that was definitely the best. That was definitely the best player in the universe.
Brazilian national team, and true or not, gets frequently described as past it without much debate. In 2002, Ronaldinho helped carry Brazil to a World Cup win,
he's old as shit.
But by
2002 is crazy.
he wasn't even chosen to play on the team at all. Understandably, Ronaldinho wasn't happy, believing he was now better than ever, stating, "I am back now to how I was. In fact, I think I'm even stronger now. Everything seems easier now."
That's that Coke getting to you. We're not talking about Coca-Cola. That Coke is convincing you that you're better. You're not better.
Want to play in a further 2 World Cups. His harsh World Cup rejection forced Ronaldinho to get back into shape. A forum post from 2012 titled, Ronaldinho goes back to 2004/05 weight, explained apparently he's now gone back to his ideal weight of 80 kilos. On top of this, a Goal.com article proclaimed, Ronaldinho is officially back among the world's best, although as you might expect, this didn't last long.
Capped, right?
Throughout 2013, Ronaldinho missed another 24 games, resulting from 2 separate injuries. He therefore again...
I've never seen a soccer player slack this hard. And with as famous as he got, we're talking about like one of the world's best players right now.
Wasn't selected for Brazil's 2014 World Cup team, and by 2015, at the age of 35, Ronaldinho's career was pretty much finished. He'd signed an 18-month contract with Fluminense, although after failing to score in 9 games and being booed by his own fans during a league game, Ronaldinho's contract was terminated after only 2 months. The club publicly announced, "We were straight with him and told him it wouldn't work for us, so we decided releasing him was the right thing to do. We are somewhat frustrated. When he arrived, we expected he could do for us what he did for so many other clubs. That's what you think when you sign a player."
Dude, so this was like a Neymar situation, but 20 years ago. I get why the fans are pissed. Whatever happened to Neymar, man? Was it the injury? Is that why he stopped playing for so long and then he became all fat and shit?
Do well in Mexico, but we took our chances by bringing him back to Rio, thinking he would do well again. Ronaldinho clearly didn't, but he now had $90 million to retire very comfortably. He'd hire his brother Roberto to be his manager, who could...
90 million. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, he's a millionaire 90 times over again, right? 90 million. Damn, what could you do with 90 million? Surely you can't lose it all, right?
Ronaldinho's retirement, stating, "He has stopped, it is ended. Let's do something pretty big and nice," after the Russia World Cup, where Ronaldinho was spotted looking extremely happy. Behind the scenes, however, his life had already begun to fall apart. Ronaldinho used his earnings to purchase 57 properties, one of which being a lake house in the riverside city of Porto Alegre. From the house, he built a wharf and dock without realizing...
Brother, 57 properties. Hold up. Back up now. 57. You better be getting a good ass deal on these, man. You got 90 million moving like he Bill Gates. Clearly, he never learned his lesson. All that drinking and shit, partying had a long-term effect. No cap.
From the house, he built a wharf and dock without realizing it was totally illegal. As a result, he was fined $1.7 million US, although Ronaldinho refused to pay. It was then
it's too late now, bro. You better pay up before they increase that shit. Fucking idiot. 57 properties.
He also owed a further $2 million in unpaid property taxes, and as a result, Ronaldinho has had 57 properties seized and his Brazilian and Spanish passports confiscated over unpaid taxes and fines. Ronaldinho...
How did Sonny V2 find out some shit like this? He does his research, man.
...the fishing fine down to $1.5 million, but ultimately still failed to pay, leading the Brazilian government to permanently take he and his brother's passports. Now, this was extra inconvenient, as they wanted to take a holiday down to Paraguay, so they devised a genius plan. Create a fake Paraguay passport for one of Brazil's most famous people, known for playing on the Brazilian national team. As he tried to enter Paraguay, Border Protection obviously noticed him instantly, placing Ronaldinho in jail awaiting trial. Imagine not only being one of the most famous footballers in the world,
but also one of the most dumbass people in the world. Are you fucking crazy? Doing this as a normal person is already bad enough. Bro, you're a famous footballer. Come on, gang.
But also one of the most unique looking ones, and trying to use a fake passport in South America. Bravo, Ronnie, but wait, it still gets dumber. It is unclear why the former footballer entered Paraguay using the passport, considering Brazilians can enter the neighboring country using their national ID card.
Wow. Rethink all the life decisions you made so far. You know what? Maybe you're not that dumb. People like this exist. He could have got into the neighboring country that easily, but he did all this stupid you know what? It was all those nights of partying, man. That shit did something to his brain. How the hell did this guy ever become one of the most renowned footballers? Come on, bro.
Basically, Ronaldinho could have gone to Paraguay without using a passport at all. To add a cherry on top of the cake, Ronaldinho claimed he didn't know the passport was fake and believed he had been given his Paraguayan passport as a gift, assuming it was an honorary type document document of no real value and gave it to an official without thinking when he reached Paraguay because it was the first thing he got out of his bag. He was therefore even roasted by his own lawyer. Ronaldinho wasn't aware that he was committing a crime because he didn't know they were fake documents. He's stupid, but the court didn't buy it for a second,
lawyer, man.
and Ronaldinho was jailed for almost half a year. Whilst
Yo, look at this guy, bro. Oh my, he's all fat and shit. This is possibly the greatest fall off in history.
Almost half a year. Whilst inside, the prison hosted a futsal tournament, leading teams across the prison to row with one another over which would have Ronaldinho on their team. He'd win the final game by scoring 11 goals, eventually leading a judge to conclude there is no indication that he has any personal characteristics or criminal behavior that would put society at risk, and Ronaldinho was therefore released from prison with a $200,000 fine.
Okay.
However, he had no hope of paying this. In fact,
there's no way. You don't have 200K left? How's that even? Bro, you retired with 90 million. Those 57 properties did a number on him. Again, the fall off needs to be studied.
The reason he and his brother initially had their passports seized was because an investigation into their bank accounts revealed a balance of just 24.63 Brazilian real, or $6.50.
Okay, this is so fucked up, revealing it to the public like this. No, FBI, Federal Bureau, some shit, y'all are dead wrong for this, man. They got all the way in his business. $6.50. Oh boy, what is that, a Happy Meal from McDonald's?
9 cents. Ronaldinho's plan to rebuild his life was to launch a cryptocurrency, releasing the Ronaldinho Soccer Coin project, which gained just 61 Instagram followers. With his own coin
There's
failing,
no way.
Ronaldinho instead promoted other shady crypto projects, always being met with understandable critique. Is this a translation for "you are bankrupt again"? In case you forgot, here are all the crypto projects you pump and dumped over the years, only leading to even more problems. Ronaldinho denies part in alleged 61 million crypto scam at congressional hearing.
From a footballer to being a crypto scammer, I've heard it all. Y'all should have kept his ass in jail. Seriously. Because at least then he wouldn't be living on the streets.
Cryptocurrency, which promised a return of 2% per day. After the crypto inevitably turned out to be a scam, Ronaldinho was brought before the government, although he claimed he was never partnered with the company and it used his name and image without his authorization, arguing he was also a victim of the purported scheme. But Ronaldinho took this photo specifically for the company and also had a history
like they literally used you as the mascot
of involvement in these kinds of shady projects. Additionally, Ronaldinho had failed to appear before 2 previous hearings related to the inquiry. He said weather conditions meant he was not able to attend. His involvement is up for interpretation, but it seems he was sufficiently rattled as he'd pivot to promoting traditional products where he'd only experience even more issues. Ronaldinho posted to his Instagram, "This is a sad time for anyone who likes Brazilian soccer. It's hard to find the energy to watch the games. This is perhaps one of the worst teams in recent years. It has no respectable leaders, just average players for the most part.
Yo, who is this guy to talk right now? Why is he insulting his own team, his own country, bro? It's not like he making Brazil look any good.
Never seen a situation as bad as this. I repeat, our performance has been one of the worst things I have ever seen. It's a disgrace." The post was shared to Reddit and people weren't happy. Criticism is fine, but straight up quitting on the national team in an official post is something to say the least. Imagine your idol saying that about you and your teammates, killing their confidence. Well, only one day later, Ronaldinho returned to Instagram, revealing the nasty message was actually an ad. "I would never abandon Brazilian football, never. And I would never say the things you saw. In fact, these words came from real Brazilian fans. They are real comments I saw on the internet. Guys, what our boys need is support at this time. That's why I joined Rexona in this movement. We are asking everyone to send messages of support. Hashtag Rexona does not abandon you. He's damn broke, isn't he?" Ronaldinho's finances haven't been discussed recently, but judging by photos of him taking private jets, it seems he's rebuilt his life at least to some extent.
Know what? Maybe he has. Guys, I hope y'all don't turn out like this. If you're gonna become successful, do it for the long run. You know what I mean? Be successful your whole journey. Don't fucking retire when you're 35, alright? He could have done way more with his life. But that being said, man, road to 10K, obviously. And y'all boys stay safe, and I'll see y'all in the next video, bro. Peace out.